So at symbol, and you should be followers, and then it should be Fire 716. Your boy Big Frank. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's happening? What's going on? Good morning, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in this morning. My homegirl, Shari in the building. How you
In the
living?
building. I'm good.
Good, good, good.
Good.
Listen,
good.
we're not going to belabor the moment, so churchy. But you're ready to have a good conversation today. We're going to get into the conversation about Kirk Franklin's documentary.
Yes.
I also want to talk about the toxicity in that.
Yeah.
But I also want to talk about just manhood in general, just navigating that journey, but also giving some insight from the woman's perspective as well. So sometimes as men, we're trying to articulate things. You always articulate it well, but then the perception is you think we thought you had it together. No, I'm falling apart. But listen, before that, Shari, how was your weekend? Look at the weekend. How was the week?
It's different when you're not here all the time.
Valid.
It was good. I'm learning to be okay with not being perfect.
Gotcha.
And this is Canisius is humbling me.
Say less.
It is slowly humbling me. But just learning to navigate school and now interning and still trying to do the life coach, get some clients for the life coaching on top of other endeavors going on in my life. Just learning the balance. But it was a pretty good week. My body decided yesterday to forsake me. So 12 hours later, I woke up. What about you?
No, I think we're doing good. Just balancing everything: house, business, home. There's so many pivots happening at the same time. I'm just trying to step into them. I'm just trying to step into the turn and finding that balance. Realize that I need a vacation and a break, and I got to make that happen soon. How soon? Soon. Like. Oh, I just left and came back. No, and those things. So, listen, guys, we're also going to have a giveaway. It's going to go down. Matter of fact, I got your attention right now. So let's do this. So I'm going to play this commercial real quick. We're going to come back. When we come back, you have to identify where this scripture is located. I'll tell you. I'll give you the key phrase of it. But we're gonna play this commercial real quick, and then we're gonna give out 2 tickets. So hope you all tapped in. Call your peoples. It's going down. Fire 716. We'll be right back with more information. Let's go. Join us September 23rd at 4 p.m. for the Where Is Thy Kingsman Men of Valor Conference in Cheektowaga, New York. A sensational event that will uplift your spirits. Visionary Evangelist Angela Miller with host Pastor Brinson leading us the way at 2520 the Union Road. Experience the enchanting melodies of the psalmist Michelle Fryson and Winton Reed. Be inspired by the profound words of Pastor Alan Core, Elder Frank Hanley, and Minister Malik Fuller. Tickets are just $30, and if you have products to showcase, vending spaces are available. For more details and reservations, call 716-249-1120. 716-249-1120. And the food will be catered by Molly's Kitchen. You don't want to miss this transformative experience on September 23rd. Mark your calendars and be there. Fire 716, your boy Big Frank. We're back like we never left. The event that I just showed you all that's taking place on this Saturday, I have the privilege of being one of the speakers. But this is a men's conference, but it's not only for men. And we are offering, watch this, we have 2 tickets to give away. And this is the prerequisite. Okay, you ready for this? Now, this is going to be different. This is going to hit different. Because you got to call in. You hear me? Okay, you got to call into this number right here. And here is the requirement. The first caller to call in who can identify the location of the scripture that says man of valor. All right. It's in the Old Testament. It talks about the men of valor. we're looking for a specific scripture that speaks about this, the men of valor. So while you guys figure that out, when you get that, call in, and if you get it right, you'll have 2 tickets for the event.
Morning, Reem and Juanita and Shayna. Good morning to y'all.
Good morning to my people. Good morning. So we're gonna dive right in and continue that conversation with the possibility of a winner. So, did you watch the documentary?
Yeah. So I watched it the night it came out.
Yes.
Because I was afraid that YouTube was going to take it down. Because anything about God, they'd be like, no. I watched the documentary. I did not. Oh, okay. We got a caller.
Got a caller. Fire 716, call you on there. Okay, judges what and what? Yes, it is. Congratulations, caller. Okay.
She got tickets.
Listen, caller, do me a favor. Just hold the line for a hot second. We'll get with you. I'll get you information from you, and I'll tell you what to do, okay? Okay. All right, awesome. Congratulations. What's your name? All right, it's good. All right, I got you. It's going down. All right, just hold the line. Matter of fact, I'll call you back. I got you. I know who you is now. It's going down. All right, thank you. Look at God. Look at
come on, people. See, we give away stuff here.
We give away stuff here. Uh-oh. Fire 716, caller, you on the air?
Hi, how you doing?
Good morning, Rosalind. You missed it. Somebody just called before you and they got it. Yeah, it's okay. But thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So now the phone will be off the hook.
Listen,
we're about to get in the conversation. We're about to get into it.
Stay tuned because we're gonna have more giveaways eventually.
Valid.
So stay locked in with us.
So we get this Kirk Franklin conversation.
Yeah, I didn't cry as much. I didn't boo-hoo cry like the way that some other people on Facebook was like, I cried from this time to this time. I was just like, that's really sad. Like I didn't cry, but I thought it was very God's timing is perfect. Yeah. But I also felt like it was very. I wanted every man to watch it.
Yeah, I watched it. And we had to cut the phone down. I watched it, but what ended up happening for me, it was number one, I laughed in between it. Don't judge me, y'all. It was so serious, and so it was. But my first challenge was to hear that Kirk Franklin sounds like this. And God, you talk. This is how you talk on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But when I watched the documentary, the fact that the things that he had to endure as a man, not knowing his father, and that person not being him being adopted, and his mom having challenges, was a storyline that is not abnormal for us in the urban community of our fathers not being present, and then. Let's break this down. Let's just deal with that element by itself. Just trying to navigate being a man without having a man present to show us what that looks like. Mm-hmm. So then we have to assume, we have to make assumptions, and then it's like, hey, who's going to show me how to do this thing,
right?
And then he grows up and he still is trying to navigate his manhood, trying to find out what love is, trying to be a father and a provider. But then that chain reaction of the toxicity that came out of that,
right?
It's just like,
it's a lot to take. Okay, so for the people who asked, we're talking about the Kirk Franklin documentary. Yes. Damon, there was a winner already, so that's why the phone hasn't been answered. Yeah, and Shireen brought up his mother and accountability. So for me, my father is living.
Yes.
A lot of my life growing up, my dad was a single parent because my mom died when I was a baby. So what I considered him not being present, he was out working.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my father ain't present. I'm home alone a lot. So I didn't get this is how a man is supposed to love you.
Yeah.
So I found out what love is supposed to look like in unfortunate ways.
Now I want to pause there, and I want to pause there because even I, as a father, and coming into fatherhood, there was a season in my don't judge me, in my player Mac and I can get by days where being home or being cuddling in somebody else's house, playing house, and these things were things I could do at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But as I come into fatherhood, this element of needing to provide and to work is very serious. And one thing that my mom said to me, and feel free, to guys, to chime in. You can also call in.
I think that's why they said, "Who's manning the phone?"
Yes, yeah. You can call in on the subject, but the winner has already been given.
Yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to becoming a man and coming into a provider position, you realize that, hey, I have an importance that if I don't work, we don't eat.
Yeah.
If I don't figure out how to make things happen, then I'm not able to give us a house, lights, to get these due diligence. And sometimes if it's not balanced, it'll make a person feel like, oh, my dad was a good provider, but he wasn't here for me to teach me the things that I need to know from a man's perspective. That's both male or female.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as men, we have to find our balance. I'm guilty. I got to find my balance between the work, the grind, family values, and time.
You're right.
And I think that is something that some people who even have their fathers present,
mm-hmm.
but not presently absent. A man who I know, who I won't name because I got to get a car from him, he's a great provider. Provision wasn't the challenge, but a presence of wisdom and impact, direction, or even passing along the things that you've learned was something that wasn't given. And then the child or the child then grows up. Oh, I want to be more physical and present because that's what I was missing.
Right.
But now you're missing the element of, no, you got to be a provider.
Right.
And now here I am.
So, and I think this conversation is so necessary because this is for the men. This is for the men who actually acting right. Yeah. I don't get. You can answer it.
First one, what's caller? You on there?
Hi, I just wanted to speak on the insurance. Yeah. I just wanted to speak on his mother and the DNA.
Yes, we ain't got there yet, but go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call back when y'all.
Okay, all right. Yes, all right, yes.
All right. So it becomes a perpetual cycle.
Yes.
And this is something like when me and my father did have a conversation, I said to him, I was like, for you, your mother's father was a military man, so he was evil. Mm-hmm. But grandma told you to just hustle.
Yeah.
So it was passed down to you to hustle. So you didn't feel the necessity of being present.
For sure.
You just felt, okay, as long as I take my kids somewhere to be watched,
mm-hmm.
while I'm out doing what I'm doing, it's okay. So the cycle is passed down. And I used to be like, I'm never going to be like my dad, but I'm a hustler. Wow. I will do 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs on top of ministry, school, and everything else. But I learned the necessity of being present with my godchildren and other things. It's not always about the money, but when you're telling somebody in a single family household that it's not always about the money, but then we struggling, we facing eviction, we facing this.
Yeah.
The cycle is, listen, I need to work. No. And I think with Kirk, even with his sons, he talked about him working mm-hmm. and, neglecting Carry On.
Right.
And, some things that happen between him and Carry On. So I think from somebody looking at men in my life who have suffered with my dad was not present.
Gotcha.
I get it from the absent present, but obviously not from the man point of view. Yeah.
And then also too, we fight so hard not to be what our parents were that we become them. You're fighting so hard. I use my example. I'm fighting so hard to prove that I can be affectionate and passionate because I didn't have it. Mm-hmm. That now I'm missing the provider piece of it, but now I find myself trying to over provide because you got to be a provider to be efficient. So it's really a chain reaction. You got any comments?
Yeah, so we got a lot of comments. So Shireen brought up about the mother not taking accountability. We're gonna get there.
Yes.
So Cameron Bailey says mothers who are hurt by children's dads sometimes become bitter. The bitterness may become toxic to the point of keeping dads and children separate in their own ways and sympathize with the mother. It's a topic that isn't talked about and exists as the elephant in the room. Naraya, hey Puda, said this is such a necessary conversation. Juanita says we have broken parents raising broken children with a repeated cycle. And then Cameron says when you had faith as a believer in addition to dynamic. Yeah, it's honestly, and this is something that Kirk Franklin, or unless they're on YouTube, is it more? Kirk Franklin asked the question, how do you become healed essentially when all you know how to learn to do is function and be broken? Like, what do you do when all you know is brokenness? And as a therapist, I want to be like, yo, I got you, Kirk, but he got one. But Kirk, just in case you happen to see this and you're looking for someone, I got you. But no, sure. But yet, like, how often are there broken men that don't know healing looks like? Because if you feel like you checking all the boxes, I'm a good dad, I'm a provider, I'm a good boyfriend or a good husband, I'm doing, like, how do you address the broken dad issues? How do you address the broken pieces of you when essentially you like, as long as I'm checking the boxes, right, as long as my family ain't hungry, as long as we got some place to stay, I'm good.
Yeah. And what that is like, because, and I hate to say this, because the time frame, we have more comments. I'm going to get to them shortly.
Yeah.
The time frame that we have of really healing, I hate to say this, should really be present before we engage in family. But that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Because once, and this is why the Bible says this, and this is just a fresh deposit, because we preachers over here. Okay? God says, I'd rather you be alone in the journey, because it's easier, I'm paraphrasing, to deal with yourself. But if you can't keep yourself, it's better to marry than to burn.
Yeah.
And what happens is, but when you engage into a marriage or a connection, now you're not just dealing with you. Like, now it's not just the fact that now you need healing, because you may not know it at first.
Right.
You better think you good. All right, I'm good. Then you begin to realize in relationship and connections, something is off and something is wrong. But that, before you engage in that family structure, that time of healing should have taken place. But reality is it doesn't. And now it's like, do I really have time to, and this is just a real question. And this is not to the person who financially, well, we got together, I can take a break and reprieve. If I'm working paycheck to paycheck and we barely making it, and I'm just, everything that I do, I'm trying to just make sure we good, the kids is good, trying to be provider, and these elements, the man, I'm just talking to the man, at what point do I have time to go say, oh, go. I'm not against counseling, but you want me to take 2 hours out of my time to go and sit, but there's no income when I can go be working overtime making money.
Right.
And then it's like, there's more dynamics to even that storyline. But my hope is that the men have that conversation, because it is, I'm just be honest, there's some things that I need healing in. But we present ourselves strong. We present ourselves, oh, we got this. We're going to be good. We can handle this, but the truth of the matter is we're breaking on the inside.
Yeah.
And that's what you get where mental health comes into play, and then people just snap because they're literally trying to keep it together while losing it all at the same time. And it's happening. I'm going to get some more of these comments. We got comments on several platforms and on a lot. So
Derek Hilson said for a black man to balance time and family, he needs to earn top earners money, $100,000 to $200,000 a year, which is considered white collar earnings. The less you make, the harder you work. The more you make, the less you work, because you can afford to pay people to do the job. On black. Oh, you wrote a lot.
No, that's my guy.
Hold on. Rosalind said before then, my dad was president of home. present in the home, sad, but unfortunately he was also a predator, so we didn't have the security or knew what a real man was.
And
bitter women make bitter kids. Yeah. But see, this is so from a counselor's point of view. This is something that I've encountered in impromptu counseling sessions. Are you connected to the right person that can handle hearing that you're broken? And a lot of times, the men have said this to me. She can't handle if I say that I was broken in this, because every time we have a conversation, it's going to be like, is it this the reason why you act this way? Where it's like, on the female side of it, can you really handle your man saying like, this is what happened, this is why I'm broken, da 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 da, but this is for this reason and not for all reasons.
Now pause right there, because that statement is so on point, because of the fact this is just the honesty, and unfortunately, ladies, is what it is, that we present ourselves strong, but when we begin to understand and realize that we do have challenges in those things, there's two reasons why we question if we can really go to our partner. Number one, it's a level of vulnerability, and can you handle me not just being vulnerable, being that vulnerable? Mm-hmm. Can you handle me being that open to you? And will your perception of you for me change? Like, this is not my story, but let's just talk. If I was touched as a child,
right,
and I was molested as a child, but I give this strong man demeanor, and I've been holding it down, but on the inside, I have this thing that rides my back that I question my manhood.
Yeah.
So I overcompensate to prove my manhood. And so when you challenge me, it's like you challenge my manhood. So my beef ain't really with you, it's with the issue. But if I tell you that I was touched, or this happened to me, or I went through a season of not knowing whether I wanted men or women, and that was a battle, if I told you that, how would you then? Could you handle that?
Yeah, without referring to it every time.
Every time, without saying that's why you right now, because once you you can catch. I don't live in domestic violence, but you can catch something. But and I say that because this can be the factors why things ain't really working. Mm-hmm. Like the problems that I'm facing. Yeah, go to counseling, but my question is, can my partner handle the weight? Can you handle the skeletons that's in my closet?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about if I pull them all out. Yeah, pieces might come out every now and again because you got to deal with it. But can you handle? If I was like, listen, this is my life. This is my experience. This is what I've gone through. But can I still be your man?
Yeah.
Can I still be the father? Can I still be your provider? Can I still get that same respect without trying to then use that challenge against me because the garbage wasn't taken out? Or you mad today? Or you in your feelings today? And we think like that. We may not always say it. We hesitate. Oh my God, y'all talking today?
Yeah. And see, I think. I used to feel like, I would say most females, like, oh, they just not talking, until God gave me brothers, and God gave me vulnerable brothers. And it really taught me how to have a sensitivity, but not always be like, so is this the reason why you do? I can hear my brothers. I can hear their hurt places. I can hear, some of their vulnerability, and not be like, oh, so that's the reason why they act like that. But I also struggle on the flip side of it, where guys be like, oh, you gonna psychologize me because you a whole therapist. No, I'm actually more empathetic and less likely to be that person like, oh, so this is why you struggle with mommy issues. They'll be like, okay, so they talking a whole lot.
Kelly said a single mom who raised a man. A single mom who raised a man. I taught my son to be the best he could be, open-minded, willing to learn and grow, and to be respectful and to treat women and men alike. Most of all, I taught him to take care of himself financially, emotionally, spiritually, before he brings another human into this world. I told him that means friends, family, spouses, and children. Absolutely. Anuki says,
this new age parent, the new age parents down the fathers to the kids. When I was coming up, coming up, no matter how good the father was, the mother didn't involve their kids. What happened to a child could stay in a child's place. That's what's missing in the new generation. And Rosalind said, I was blessed to have spiritual counseling to deal with the trauma and to let go and let God in order to forgive him so I can be the best version of myself. But that's the thing. Like, sufficiency of time is different with women and men.
Yes.
For some particular, I don't know what, if I ever find out what the formula is, I will share it. For some particular reason, and I don't know the dynamics, a woman can work 2 jobs, go to school, take care of kids, and still find her way to counseling and still be in the space of, I'm gonna be a full parent, da da da. And I think because a lot of society, let's just be honest, a lot of society has forced men out of the picture of the dynamic of family. Oh, you just a weekend dad. We don't get the space of encouraging men to be like, hey, while you have the time, hey, let's go deal with some issues. Right. It's just, oh, he's just a weekend dad. Oh, the kids only see him on a weekend. And I think because that has single women have taught single women, this is how you do it all. Yeah. And still maintain your mental health. Single fathers, they're very rare. My father was a single father, but he was never taught, be present. Tell your daughters that you love them. Tell your son that you love him. It wasn't until older when I told him to his face. Yeah. You never told me you loved me. You never told me I was pretty. So I was out here chasing that. But he hasn't, like, and I'm not knocking my dad, but he hasn't taught more young men, this is how you do it as a single father and still maintain your mental health. Yeah. The conversation of men and mental health was not a conversation in our generation at all. Absolutely. So we don't feel the need to get the help because it's like, yo, we just survive out here. It was for white people. You go to mental health, that's for white people. You know what I'm saying? So amongst men, that's not taught. Yeah. It's not taught.
And like I said, I'm not against mental health. I'm not against those things. But as Derek said before, like we're wired. We're wired different. That's not an excuse not to go. But listen, we're gonna move on in the conversation because I want to deal with the conversation really about the toxic
the motherhood,
because what happens is Shari brought it up twice. She can call back in shortly after this commercial. And then Nuki talked about it for a brief moment. And she talked about how the parent, sometimes the baby mother can plant pretty seeds of discord, which cause a disdain with the father. And then he's not around. And then somebody made a statement. I watched on TikTok today. I think it was My Big Mean Mouth or something, podcast. And they talked about how they understood why certain fathers would step away from their children for a period of time until they got to a place of being able to understand on their own. Because the dialogue or the information I'm the weekend dad, but 5 days a week you got your mom. And your mom is giving you information about me at an angle that doesn't hold truth all the way. Right. And I can't compete with that. Number one, she already fought you for custody. I only get you on the weekend now. And then also I'm paying your child support and I'm up on that. So I'm giving you money and as you should, as a responsible father, but this connection, your mom is making this more difficult than it has to be. Right. Because she may be broken or she may be bitter or there may be some situation, it may be domestic. I don't know. It may be some factors there that now the mom is offering bitterness to the child about the father. They're like, I don't want to undo him no way, yada yada. Right. It's like, okay. So then what happens is the father goes and get another family. All right, we're moving on, and that family is treated better than the first family. We get kind of in our feelings a little bit. But listen, we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we're gonna talk about getting to Kirk Franklin's mother being toxic, and then the toxicity of a family and how that can really affect the development of a man's in the manhood and navigation. So
we'll be back.
We'll be right back. I got too many screens open. Too many screens open. Join us September 23rd at 4 p.m. for the Where Is Thy Kingsman Men of Valor Conference in Cheektowaga, New York. A sensational event that will uplift your spirits. Visionary Evangelist Angela Miller with host Pastor Brinson leading us the way at 2520 The Union Road. Experience the enchanting melodies of the psalmist Michelle Fryson, and Winton Reed. Be inspired by the profound words of Pastor Alan Core, Elder Frank Hanley, and Minister Malik Fuller. Tickets are just $30, and if you have products to showcase, vending spaces are available. For more details and reservations, call 716-249-1120. 716-249-1120. And the food will be catered by Molly's Kitchen. You don't want to miss this transformative experience on September 23rd. Mark your calendars and be there. Fire 716, your boy Big Frank. You're locked into Big Frank in the morning. I'm hungry, Jay Shari.
In the building.
We're in conversation right now, just breaking down the documentary of Kirk Franklin's documentary. I think it was called like Father's Day. And also discussing just navigating manhood and also getting the woman's perspective of that as well. So listen, the phone lines are open. You are more than welcome to chime in, call in.
Because we getting ready to talk about the toxic mom.
Yeah, toxic mom. So in the documentary, the guy Ricky, who we learned that is Ricky's Kirk's father, he takes a DNA test on his own, and it reveals that Kirk is his father. Okay, Kirk calls his mother, and she's in denial. Okay?
Let's start with the voicemail first. The voicemail was the beginning of the toxicity, okay? Because the voicemail was like, the voicemail was like, if you would like to address the rumor that is going around, call me. Kirk was like, delete. So you from jump, you started off lying.
Yeah.
But then to have him reveal that Rick is his father, show her the results. She say, nah, I don't believe this. So they get a second DNA test in front of her face, swab and everything in your face, and she still goes, I can't receive.
So hold on there. Hey, caller, hold on one moment. Cornelia says, can men handle a woman's truth of her past and her trauma and why she did things she did in her younger years without being judged or looked at any different? I personally believe yes. And the reason, caller, just hold on just one moment. Hold on, caller. I say that yes, because even as I'll say for me, a man's maturity and where you are, we understand. I got a different concept of what you did prior to. I get it. Now the question is though, how does that affect you and how you deal with me? And can I handle that is really the question. But that's the whole.
Juanita, just the brief answers before we get into the mom. Yeah. You're a rare breed. The reason why I'm saying you're a rare breed, and I'm talking about the guys who have sat at this table, rare breeds. Just because if a woman was struggling looking for the love of her father and had Tatiana ways, dudes would be like, "Oh, she for the streets." Coming into a relationship, oh, but you was smashing this dude. I have seen it. But you was smashing this dude, this dude. But now you want me to trust you? Okay, I was being open with you.
Right, and this is important when you talk about how you want to move forward. Now, also, if I am here for longevity, long term, and you in the kingdom now, life is what it was. This Christian life makes a difference, okay? And we are talking about you have been reformed and you're going to a place, but you got history. Yeah, I can respect your history. That's different than saying you're currently actively in thoughtteism and moving that this is what I did, but you're still out here doing this. Your character's still the same. We got a problem. I think that's different, and I have that level of grace because I get it. I got to pass. You got to pass. But my question is, are we changing our behavior now?
And I've been judged based on my past. And I've had men tell me I can't.
Call it right there.
Men of God tell me I can't see myself dating you because what if I make you mad and you go back to them?
Yeah. So listen.
So that's that was just a response to Juanita.
So Juanita, I'm gonna inbox you. And we're gonna get into a relationship discussion. We're gonna talk about that thing for real. I like it. Caller, you're on. Caller, you there?
Yep, I'm here, Frank.
Yes. Go ahead and chime in.
It's Kelly. I just want to say that I could have so been one of those toxic moms. My son's, you know me and my son through Solar.
Yes.
Well, he walked out on us about 3 weeks before my son turned 4. My kid is now 22. Now, well, he's not a kid. He's a man.
Mm-hmm.
But I could have so been toxic. I had so many nasty things to say about him. I held everything in front of my son because I didn't want it to turn back on me in the long run. And one day I sat down and I had a talk with my father before he passed. And I talked to God. And when I talked to God, I released all of that negative things that I was holding back. So then I had a conversation with his father, and I told him, I said, I have so many things that I could say to you, to him. I said, but I'm not going to do that. And he just looked at me and he goes, well, you don't know what I say about you. And I said, that's the point. I said, two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
And my choice at that point was eventually my son was going to learn what his father was about. Just like someday my son would have learned what I was about if I would have done the negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose the higher road. And unfortunately, young parents these days in the next generation are not taking that higher road. They're not doing that. And they're creating the toxic men and women of our future society.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And it's very sad. And I see so much of it where I work. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Kelly, I thank you for calling in. Thank you for giving us that insight even to your life being open like that. We appreciate you so much. Okay, thank you for calling in. And keep listening. We're so grateful for you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too as well. And that's a real thing, like far as how you can choose to be either way. Now let's get to Kirk's mama.
She the fact that she wouldn't take accountability is what irked. All he needed to start his healing, because he was like, what do I do now? All he needed was to hear that's I agree. 2 words. I agree. Yes. That's all he needed, was like, that's it. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is what when I watched that. Number one, did you not deny it in the beginning? You denied it all the way through.
Yeah.
The second DNA test in front of you, you're still denying, which leads. And this is what I said. And it's like it leads me to believe that whatever this relationship was, however this came about to be a thing, had to be a traumatic situation for her not to come to the reality that you was with this man.
Yeah.
And y'all got this kid. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's possible. The
only thing, this is because I was like, oh, I was therapizing this thing. So the only thing I can think of. Hold on.
Hello, caller, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, get talk to us.
So if you paid attention in the movie when they were at the funeral of the I forgot who the person was.
Yes,
but if you
friend,
paid attention,
yeah.
They said that Kurt's mom was way older than
the father. Was older than the father. Because he kept saying, I was young.
I think that she was in denial because she kind of messed with a younger boy at the time.
Ooh,
and she just did not want to recognize the fact that you had sex with this little boy and you had a baby with him.
Yeah,
so she kept saying, no, it never happened. Like, basically, I never, ever slept with him. But you did sleep with him, and DNA doesn't lie.
Right.
You never thought of that? Because that's what I thought.
I didn't. Maybe I was talking to my wife in the beginning. I remember this story.
Yeah, pay attention to the beginning in the funeral scene. They said he was younger than her.
But when I think younger, I didn't think younger.
Because he kept saying, I was young.
Yeah.
I was doing this. I was younger. I was young. He kept saying I was young. And I was like, let me find out.
How young?
Because so Kirk is 50, 52, 54?
Yeah.
He's around that age.
And y'all have to remember, it wasn't that she was denying the father, she was denying Kirk because she didn't raise him at all.
Right. So yeah.
So of course she's gonna say, well, nah, that's not who I picked to be your father, so he's not the father.
Right.
Right.
Because he the father in a nonchalant way told us that he was out here for the streets for a little while as a young guy. Because he said,
Right.
I never thought I slept with this one or this one or this one, or he said this one like 5 times. Like, so he was out here spreading seed, not trying to be funny, but he kept saying, I was young, and if I had have known, I would have tried to step up. She may have just got him at like 17, 18. She may have got, because the math between Kirk's age and the father's age is not that far. They're not, the math is giving the detail.
My heart is breaking, shattering. Because what I said was it had to be to deny.
Oh, Tyra said we reminded that part and still didn't realize that's what they meant.
Because I said it would be traumatic. The only way to deny proof is that this situation had to be something that was either foul, traumatic, that you don't want to even believe that it could ever be. But then to still deny it, though,
you're not gonna get on national TV and say that you touched somebody at a younger age.
Yeah.
So she was taking that lie to the grave.
Dang.
I mean, it basically goes back to, and I don't know if this is what it is, but a lot of men that I talk to, they say that their first experience was with their babysitter.
Yeah.
Put myself out there in these streets like that as a married man of the Lord is the Father. No, so it's not abnormal. So watch this. If no one is, let's just talk Black community, urban community. No one is teaching us how to handle these hormones that's coming up.
Yeah.
So if the man isn't present and whoever, but no one is teaching me how to handle the fact that I'm turned on, or handle the fact that hey,
thank you, caller.
Thank you. No one has taught me how to handle this. So when I get an itch, I'm gonna scratch it. Yeah. Okay. And after scratching it, I heard these conversations, which now brings curiosity. So now I want to go find out what I can. Oh, this is crazy. This is fresh. What I can do to figure out if what I heard is true. Yeah. Now this is a fresh deposit. This is just a fresh. This is a fresh situation. And so taking that scenario I just created, when I talked about that, I was thinking about babysitter or playing house and those elements. But take that person unknown, and then you take a baby, or you take that this violation ain't always 17 to infant or 17 to a little kid. Right. Sometimes it's just young kids trying to figure out what am I doing, and I put myself on the table. Nobody taught me about intimacy. Nobody taught me how to handle the fact that, oh, no, I was playing doctor and playing house, and we was discovering on our own. Right. And here we are, 10, 11, 12. Y'all think we just, no, we out here, being who we are. But there is no, we don't have that conversation of how to handle and manage that. And that's not only to the man, but also to the woman. Like, who's showing you? Okay, baby, I know you. I know. Yeah. Those are hormones kicking in. This is what you do. Yeah. This is how you manage. And we don't have that conversation. Oftentimes we figure out the sex trial and error. I got into so much, I fight so many demons because somebody said something and we're trying to figure it out. Yeah. And then that exposes you to sometimes causing trauma for somebody else, causing trauma for yourself, but also being intrigued and getting into some stuff that's bigger than you. Yeah. So, and it's like, where's that conversation at? And even putting that pressure on, I don't let that go. I was gonna say the church, but No, let's be honest though. The church in these, as we are having these development classes. I'm not saying get into the nasty, the beads and all that. Like, we ain't going. Managing and normalizing hormonal change in the church is something that is necessary. That's why I am as transparent
to a certain degree as I am with younger people that I mentor, because it's like, no, your feelings are normal. This as a 40-year-old woman, the drive is driving. Like the struggle is real. And so like I'm very honest in these conversations with these younger people that's 13, 14, 12. Like, no, these are normal. It doesn't make you any less of a believer or a Christian because you feel your body is going through this, and this. A lot of the thing is, and also with the whole babysitter situation, a lot of times the babysitter was 16, the person was 13. Yeah. Where if it wasn't defined that the line should not be crossed, it's like, oh.
And let me give you
don't get me wrong. Do not say that Hanley Holdings or Fire 716 is condoning. But no.
A reality check, and this is y'all can get mad at me if you want to, but for those who are raising boys and men and even young ladies, listen, we have fantasies. Listen, I'm putting myself on the block. They just not love you and my wife.
Oh, she on here talking.
I know. I see her. We have fantasies, so we're not always considering this babysitter or this person a problem or traumatic. No, this is she cute. Yeah, I want to know. I'm down for it. If it happened, kudos to me, because our conversation is a little bit different. Yeah. But even as a young man, I just recall having ideas like, yo, she a grown adult. I know I'm a kid, but I wouldn't mind. Yeah. No, I know she, yep. Listen, let me help you. Y'all don't want the truth. The church I went to, I don't know. If you know, you know. But we were young adults. You know, Congress was the situation. Not only that, there was individuals who I'll name nameless, watching porn in the middle of service. Yeah. Because this conversation isn't had. We got people inside the church and the youth department. We got STDs running because this conversation about how I handle what I feel when it comes down to you can say, oh, die daily. What does that mean for somebody who's I'm developing? I'm getting turned on. Right. I watch it. When Juanita said, I'm gonna read this comment and it makes sense to what I'm saying. She says, I'm single now because I needed time to heal because I would self-sabotage every relationship because I didn't know how to love or even recognize love because lust found me at a young age, but I was a champion in the lust field and used what I was great at the time, but God is a deliverer and He keeps those that want to be kept. But my question is to the statement, and I agree to you, because what happens with the hormones is it comes a period, God, I don't want to be kept. Right. Like, yeah, as we grow up adults, God keep me because I've been caused havoc in hell. I need to hold out. But to the kid who doesn't know the damage that can happen, I'm not trying to be kept. I want to embrace this feeling and this motion. Yeah. And I want to put to my emotional connection with this person. I want to take it to another level, and this is that level. Yeah. But if nobody's there to show me or to teach me why I should wait, or what this should be like, or understand the outcome and the challenges that can come with engaging early, we gonna keep having baby church.
And trying to be funny, when I was growing up, if you were of a certain age and had not had sex yet, you was looked at as something was wrong with you. Sure. Like, oh, you 16, you 17, you ain't had sex. Like, it was like abstinence was not normal when I was growing up. Like, if you was 17 years old and you was not tapped yet, something must be wrong with you. Nobody won't. Oh, you must be ugly. Like, it wasn't like maybe I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Maybe I'm just trying to keep myself. Maybe I don't want to end up pregnant at 16 like you. Like, maybe this is the conversation. And so I wanted to read what Tyra said. She said, that's why I don't like the idea of telling children to go back there and play while adults are talking or do whatever or do whatever because you don't know what those other kids are learning in the homes. That's a generational thing. That's a black church. That's a black generational thing. Oh, adults was talking, so y'all need to go in the back. Right. Me going in the back was the reason why I knew what house and doctor was.
Yeah, but let me be your level of grace. I get why you say it. These are your kids. Okay, you need a break, you need a reprieve. Y'all go ahead. Y'all be occupied back there. But again, you don't know. Like Derek Hilson said, he was 11 years old. Yeah. Listen, and I tell the story. I have no problem being open about this. Listen. Kids was leaving home. Mama, I love you so much. We are saved now. Okay. We are waiting for the Lord now. But I was young. I was young. People was watching Barney and Sesame Street. I found the tapes.
Yeah.
Matter of, y'all don't want to be too reckless because I'm gonna call it out. Okay. I found the tape. It wasn't in my household. It was in somebody else's household, but it was bestiality.
Yeah.
I found the tapes.
Yeah.
And this opened up a portal of curiosity. So now we playing hide and go seek. Get it? Yeah.
I go get it.
If you don't know, now you know. but what I'm saying is that because, and unfortunately at my time, my father was in and out of prison for drugs. And this is what it was. I have your uncles come through, but hey. But it's like nobody told me how to respond to these things that I was feeling. So at a very young age, my boy Tarek's at 10, I was probably 10. And this situation was the parents was outside in the car talking and told us to go in the house. Yeah. And we started finagling and playing. And I'm not saying this to be, that's crazy and gross. What I'm saying is that because nobody taught us how to respond to this, we got involved in some stuff. Yeah. We started doing some things. And we didn't go back and report and tell you. Right. You didn't go back and tell, we know this is secretive. Yeah. We peep and running. We know this is out of order and wrong. But you ain't talked to us about it. Yeah. I ain't had that conversation.
The one comment that I did not want to ignore, Shareem said, the father never bashed the mother. He just kept apologizing. And I didn't want to skim over that because that's a huge point out the whole documentary that caught my attention. It made me want to cry. Yeah. That's the only part I was like, okay, because like he didn't be like, yo, your mom was raggedy, and he was just like, I'm sorry for something I couldn't control. Yeah. Because the fact that I couldn't be there for you, the fact that I found out you was eating out of garbage cans, I'm sorry. That hit. That hit me in a place because I was like, yo. He was man enough to say, I can't fix this, but I'm apologizing in a place that you're not getting the apology for. Yeah. I'm gonna apologize.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I think his maturity in the matter as a man, I have to commend him for sure because he could have. Yeah. He could have. But he didn't. He didn't dog, he didn't disrespect, he didn't talk down. But they had that conversation, and then it's like, Dad, how much had as a father have I missed out on?
Right, 50-something years.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And I don't know. His father appeared to be well off just in presentation. Yeah. Good morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. But I was like, Dad, we could have been whatever business I'm in. I could have taught you. Mm-hmm. Whatever things I was doing, I could have showed you. We could have had. I mean, it could have been just crazy. But I didn't know.
But somebody asked the question, would Kirk still be Kirk if his father was present? Because a lot of his ministry, a lot of his music was birthed out of being molested, being addicted to porn, the being abandoned by his mom, seeing his mom 3 times a year. Would he have been the same? Not saying I'm glamorizing trauma. Yeah. The question is, would Kirk have been Kirk?
I think that Kirk would have. This is my personal opinion. Not documented by scripture or anybody else. It's my personal. I think that Kirk would have been Kirk, but I think he wouldn't. The seasons wouldn't have been as long. And I say that because getting into it is the secretive part. But then having somebody to talk to come out of it. Okay. Oh yeah. This ain't abnormal. If my son comes and tells me that this is what I got myself in. Oh yeah, you're not by yourself because prior to you being here, this is what I endured. Yeah. And even having that mentor spiritually as well. I think that the longevity of those challenges may not have been as long. He didn't have anybody to run to. So I think they still would have made that music, still had that scenario. But I think those seasons, he wouldn't have to hurt as long as he hurt. That's just my personal opinion. And I think that sometimes we don't realize that our fathers have their experiences, that when their children have them, I'm here because I understand. Mm-hmm. So I'm not here to bash you, destroy you, or I'm here to give you warnings and some wisdom. But if you get caught up in it, just know that I've been there.
Derek says, because TV was teaching us about emotions, we weren't taught about by our family. And Tyra said the father told Kirk, this is about you and what you need. And that was dope.
Valid. And I pray that us who are current as fathers, that we just understand that we have a really vital role to play. And I get that some people's fathers are not present, but there are people who God sends to be very present. And I'll say this, and I feel like saying this only because sometimes the people that you consider to be family and you expect to be present for you, they're not always.
Yeah.
But God will send you a set of people who will be in your corner. They will support you. They will be there for you, and they'll do their best to fill certain voids the best they can. And other things, that's just certain things that God can do. As I just reflect on my baby showers and my children's birthdays, the family that was present for us wasn't the family that I thought would be there for us. And it's like, wow, but I'm grateful for it. One thing that they said to me spiritually, and we're getting ready to get out of here shortly, is even from the Apostle Joseph Princeton Jr., he had experiences that he had to go through and overcome that I needed to hear in ministry. It's like, oh, I thought I was by myself.
Yeah.
And oftentimes as men, we feel like we're by ourselves, when in reality, we are really in the same boat in a different corner, trying to get to a set place with challenges. Listen, y'all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Uh-oh, we got a call. You might have saved somebody's life. Caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Oh, maybe not really. Maybe AI. I just want to thank everybody for tapping into to the Big Frank Show here in the morning with my homegirl Jay Shari. Do you have a word of wisdom you want to release to the people before we get out of here?
Just ladies, if they come to you being vulnerable, let them come to you in that moment. Don't hold it over their head. Just let them come to you in the moment. Hear them, but don't hold it over their head, because sometimes they just need a safe space that's not their friends. Yeah, that's it.
And I'll speak from a place of a current reality. For the man, you have to find a place to be. I understand the struggle and the need and the weight that you carry being you, but I encourage you to find a place to decompress, to relax, and really to unwind without violating your home, your household, or those things. And I say that because you're doing a great job doing your best, but sometimes you can be breaking down on the inside, and you can be going through it, still trying to be strong on the outside. But you have to find a place where you can really be like, hey, I need a break. I need to breathe. I need to rest. Let me take care of some things in the future. I'll be back. But take that time. And if counseling is required, let's do it. Let's just, why not? And right now they got telemed, so you don't necessarily have to even be in the office. You can do it electronically, virtually as well. So I want to encourage counseling. I know that Jay Shari does counseling. She has services that she offers.
I do.
There's also DMP Speaks. He's in Atlanta now, but he also offers services as well. If you know any other providers, just feel free to email us at Fire716.
If you have specific needs, like if you want a black male counselor, things like that, email us and let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Fire716@gmail.com, and we'll give you the
radio at Gmail.
Fire716 radio at gmail.com, and we'll be able to give you guys resources that's available to you all. I am not a counselor. Don't pretend to be. I hear God, so I speak. And I give you the wisdom based upon the foundation and the principles that I've gotten through my life as well. So I would say Jesus and therapy is a real thing. Collaboration, like meds and God, you can do it. Listen, greetings, bless you, Elijah. Greetings, King. Do me a favor, guys. Just share this broadcast. Let it be a blessing to your family, whoever you think may benefit from it. We'll be back on Monday. More conversation, more content. I'm just following God's lead. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be encouraged.
Take care.
We take care. This commercial one more time, and then we running away. Make sure y'all get here. I'm supposed to be I'm on the panel. We preaching. I don't know if we preaching or we just paneling, but I'm talking.
You preaching.
I'm preaching. I can't find the commercial. My Lord, today. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all. Y'all be blessed. Join us September 23rd at 4 p.m. for the Where Is Thy Kingsman Men of Valor Conference in Cheektowaga, New York. A sensational event that will uplift your spirits. Visionary Evangelist Angela Miller with host Pastor Brinson leading us the way at 2520 The Union Road. Experience the enchanting melodies of the psalmist Michelle Fryson and Winton Reed. Be inspired by the profound words of Pastor Alan Core, Elder Frank Hanley, and Minister Malik Fuller. Tickets are just $30, and if you have products to showcase, vending spaces are available. For more details and reservations, call 716-249-1120. 716-249-1120. And the food will be catered by Molly's Kitchen. You don't want to miss this transformative experience on September 23rd. Mark your calendars and be there.